Jay, everybody.
Hello, Yuk Yuks. What's going on? It's my first time, so be nice. Hello, my name's Reagan J. I'm 6'4". That's 2 measurements. Ladies, eyes up here. So I recently I have a daughter. Congratulations, I fornicated. I came in a woman. So I had to trade my truck in and decided let's get a van. Let's get a minivan. So I started driving the other day, and I was listening to Doobie Brothers. Had the windows down, just enjoying the day. And then you know what happened? I guess I cut off a really old guy. So I pull up the window and he's looking at me, and I thought, oh man, this guy is going to be like, nice song, bro. I used to listen to that back in the day. No, he looked at me and he said, 30 years ago, I would have kicked your ass for cutting me off like that. I looked at him and I'm like, bro, I would have been 8. Yeah, no problem. So, anyways, with that van, I also decided I'd become a pizza delivery driver. It's like kind of a part-time gig on my full-time job. So my wife would get off my back about drinking beer and smoking pot and not supporting our child. So, that was a little syntax. But the funnest thing ever was sometimes you'd get back early and the pizza was ready, so you'd rush over to this lady's house, and there's always a lady. She'd answer the door, and the first thing she would say, go, wow, that was fast. And I'd always mumble. I'd be like, yeah, you sound like my wife. Yeah, it's called bad sex. Anyways, guys, speaking of which, my wife actually told me that it's time to update my wardrobe. She said it's kind of getting a little out of style, out of taste. I said, yeah, well, honey, you're probably right. The kids who made my clothes are probably adults or dead by now. You guys ever grow up fat and ugly? Yeah, see, they get it. It's like, the cool thing about being fat and ugly growing up is you're too fat to kidnap and you're too ugly to molest. So you know what my childhood was like? Well, someone over there does. Yeah, this guy, yeah, woo! Hey, you guys ever get them scam callers? Do you get them a lot, eh? Anyone? Oh, you guys are probably that young generation who doesn't get scammed by scam callers. Anyways, they're getting really creative. They called me the other day, and this guy called me and goes, Reagan, this is your father, I'm in trouble. I need money. And I was like, Dad, you reincarnated into an East Indian. Dad. He hung up the phone. And I tried calling him back, and he didn't answer. You could say, my dad ghosted me twice. My dad's dead, guys. That's the whole point of the joke. Jesus. You guys watch TLC? Anyone watch TLC? Anyone else will see my wife lost like 90 day this, 90 day that. Anyways, I just sit there and kind of
My screen picture?
Yeah, that fucking show's weird, man. I get anxiety watching that one in Extreme Couponers. Like, what's that one lady? She just eat mattresses? What the fuck is up with that, eh? We count sheep, not eat sodas, Anyways, so the other day I was watching it, and like, I'm gonna use my radio voice here, but they're like, 1,000-pound sisters, followed by 1,000-pound friends, Tuesdays, only on TLC. And I was like, honey, they're sitting on a fucking gold mine marketing-wise. Why don't they call it 2-Ton Tuesdays? It just rolls right off the tongue, eh? 2-Ton Tuesdays, only on Tuesdays, on TLC. You get that other lady, my big fat fabulous life, called 2.5-Ton Tuesdays, Sit on the marketing gold mine, guys. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I used to live in rural Alberta. So when I first moved here, I was working on Bay Street. Yeah, I know I don't look like I would ever work on Bay Street, but I clean up. Anyways, this girl kind of wanted to get me anointed with Toronto and the lifestyle and, the pulse of the city. She said, Reagan, do you want to go for a drag race on Church Street on Friday? So my redneck ass goes, oh my God, they're going to have cars ripping up and down Church Street? No fucking way, bud, let's rip. And so we got there Friday, and you guys will have to know what a drag race is. That's for some like dudes, they look pretty, they do themselves up pretty good. Well, anyways, needless to say, I didn't stick around for the mud buck afterwards. Kind of gay. Anyways, guys, it's been a pleasure. It's my first time here at Yuk Yuks. I appreciate you all. Thanks for coming out.
Reagan J, everybody. Let him hear it. Come on, that guy right there. He was almost gay, so I love him though. He's not just funny, he's also the ideal height for my weight. True story, that guy right there. That's how tall I'm supposed to be. Okay. Awesome. This is not a good sign, bro.